In this video, I'm going to show you how to create a lead capture page. Now, there's a couple of different places you can do it. I only do it in one spot. Now, this is my personal preference, but at the end of this video, I'm going to show you another section that you can go and create a lead capture page. But I'm going to start out showing you my favorite, and that is by hovering over websites, hovering over web pages, and click on copy web pages. And that brings me to this section here where I can choose a lead capture page that I want to copy and then I want to make my edits to. Now, copying and editing lead capture pages is extremely simple. Some of these have 3 radio buttons to choose from, and all this does is it tells you how much information that you're asking from your prospect. And I also wanted to point out, just because these say Power Lead System lead capture pages, it doesn't matter. I mean, a template is a template. You can change and use these for anything that you want. So it doesn't matter what section they're in. If you like the lead capture page, if you like the look and feel, you can create it for anything that you want. So, okay, so I'm going to choose this one right here. Name and email, this particular one right here. So I'm going to scroll down, click Make Me a Copy. And you always want to name your lead capture page. For example, if I was in a company called ABC Travel and I was making a lead capture page for that company, I would call this ABC Travel Lead Capture Page. No one else is going to see this except for you. It's just to help you identify what page this is. Okay, now this right here, this is the title tag. This is what is seen inside that little strip on top of your address bar. And so I'm just going to leave it to say free access below. Now, you do not have to assign this lead capture page to a domain or a subdomain at this particular time. You can always come back and do this later. But assuming I wanted to assign it right now, I'm going to create a subdomain on the fly, which is really cool. You're going to see your domain inside this little drop-down menu here, and it gives you the opportunity to create a subdomain. So I just gave it a simple name. I'm just going to call this travel.mydomain. Now, moving on to step 3, if you want to assign an autoresponder campaign now or later, it doesn't matter, it's up to you. But whenever you create an autoresponder campaign, it will always show up inside this drop-down menu. So if you've created one previously, you're going to find it right here. Now, we do have an autoresponder campaign called Promote Your Primary. This is generic and it presents you as an expert in the industry. So if you need some help and you want one that's pre-done that will work for whatever company you're promoting, this one right here called Promote Your Primary is one that you can use. But I would imagine that before too long, you're going to want to create your own autoresponder campaign for whatever company that you're promoting. Now, moving on to step 4, all this is doing is asking what page do I want my prospect to see after they opt into the lead capture page. The one on the very bottom, well, that's pretty easy. That's just whatever website that you want them to go to. That might be your personal URL to your MLM company. It might be an affiliate offer URL, whatever you want. And if you use the one right above that, this is going to allow you to connect to any page within your system. Now, whenever you create a page within your system, it's going to show up inside this drop-down menu the moment you create it. And that's another really good example and reason of why it's very important to label all the pages that you create very clearly so they're easy to find in situations like this. I'm just going to mark this bottom one here. So when my prospect opts into this lead capture page, they're going to go to Seahawks.com after they opt in. So I'm going to save my changes. Now, I don't have to edit my background right now. I can always come back and do that. But for this particular lead capture page, I can either click here and submit, and that's going to give me a large library of background pics that I can choose from, or I can click right here and I can use either a YouTube video provided for me or any video on YouTube as my background pic. I'm going to come back to edit background. I don't have to do these in order. I can just click on edit text. Now you'll notice this lead capture page is inside my editor. So I can just change this to anything that I want. For example, if I was in a travel company Maybe I type something like, need to get away. And then I would come up with a subheadline. And I've got another line here. Obviously, that's not applicable the way it is, so I've got to either delete it or change it. So I just came up with, something there. Now, I'm not going to touch anything else on this lead capture page. You always want to stay away from anything that looks like this, okay, because that's special coding that makes the opt-in form work. I could change the button if I wanted, but I'm not going to go into that in this video. So I've got my lead capture page here. I've got all the copy the way I want it. So all I'm going to do is click Save. And I can go ahead and click View on this lead capture page. And obviously I don't have anything in the background. So as I said earlier, I can always come back and make changes. Any page that you ever create inside your system can always be found by hovering over websites and clicking on web pages. And you'll notice there's that page right there that I created, ABC Travel Lead Capture page. I can click on Edit, and look at this. At any time, I can just make the decision to change anything I want about this page. I can change the title tag at any time. I can change which domain or subdomain that I want to have this attached to at any time. I can change the autoresponder at any time. And obviously I can change where I want my prospects to go after they opt in at any time. I'm going to leave all of that stuff the way it is, and I'm going to go back here, remember, edit background. And what I'm going to do for this example is I'm going to use a YouTube video as my background. So I'm going to click in this circle here. I'm going to click submit, and I can just click one of these videos here that are already done for me, and that's going to be a video background. But you know what? I want to use another video from YouTube that I'm just going to go find randomly. So I'm just going to click here where it says use my own. And then you'll notice right here, there's a code that you need to go find and replace. And I'll show you how to do that real quick. Okay, so here we are at youtube.com. I'm just going to type in Disney Resorts. Now that I've done that, I'm just going to scroll through some of these and see if any of them look good for a background video. And obviously you might have to click on some videos, see what they look like. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to click on this one right here. I always like to make sure there's no yellow streaks or strips along this bar here, because that means an advertisement's going to pop up. So anyways, I found a video that I'm going to use for my background video. And if you'll notice inside the address bar right after the equals is an 11-character code. So you're just going to highlight that entire little code right after the equal sign. And this is something that you're going to find on every single YouTube video. It's real simple. Right after the equals, inside your address bar, just copy that code and then come back to your page that you're working on and just paste that right there. And notice too that you can choose whether or not to have audio on your background video. I'm going to go ahead and leave my audio off, and I'm going to click submit, and that's it. Let's take a look at this. I'm going to click on view. Now I might find a different video, something that doesn't say TVG here, but this one's not too bad. But as you can see in general, finding a YouTube video in this feature, it is so much fun to use, and it really does a lot. It brings out your lead capture pages. This is a lot of fun. You're going to really love this feature. Okay, I've just created that lead capture page. Let's say I wanted to create another one. I'm just going to hover over websites, hover over web pages, click on copy web pages, and I just start the process all over again. So let's say I want to copy this one here, okay? All I'm going to do is ask for my prospect's email. So I'm going to click make me a copy. And again, I don't have to do anything on these first 4 steps here. I can always come back to this later. I'm just going to click on edit background. And let's see, I'm going to pick this background right here. And if I wanted to change this text, I could. I already showed you how to do that. It's real easy. I would click save, and I could view my page. And remember, I can always come back at any time, click on Edit, and notice up top here, I can click on Edit Basics. I can click on Edit Background, change that at any time. Whatever edits that I want to make, again, more edits to the lead capture page. I can always come back at any time and do those changes. And again, all the pages that you ever create, whether it's a lead capture page or a sales page or anything, can always be found by hovering over websites and clicking on web pages. And you'll notice I didn't name that very well. So if I click on Edit, I can just name this Test 1, 2, 3. And, I didn't assign it to a domain or anything at this time, but if I wanted to, I could assign it to a domain or a subdomain anytime I want. I can always come back here whenever I want and make whatever changes. And another thing I can do anytime I want is click this red X and delete it from my system forever. It's asking me if I'm sure. I'm going to say yes. And now that lead capture page is gone. Now, if I wanted to create another lead capture page, same thing again, hover over websites, hover over web pages, click on copy web pages, and I would scroll down and find a lead capture page to copy. Now, in another video, I'll show you all the great, cool things you can create and do by copying one of our sales pages. But this video is all about copying and making edits to lead capture pages. So there's really nothing more simple than this. It's just a matter of making the changes that you want, saving them, coming back at any time, and setting it up exactly how you want, anytime that you want. Now, at the beginning of this video, I mentioned there's another place that you can create lead capture pages. And I'll show you that now. All you're going to do is hover over websites, hover over web pages, and click on Create Web Pages. So you're going to click inside that circle, and you're going to want to use one that uses an opt-in form or a survey. That basically just means it's a lead capture page. And once you do that, well, then you've got these templates to choose from. I personally like using the lead capture pages from the website section that I just showed you. But, for example, if I was going to use one of these lead capture pages, I would just click on it, find one, just click on choose. And you'll notice that all the steps are basically exactly the same using one of these templates. In other words, I can come back at any time and come up with a subdomain or a domain that I'm going to attach it to, autoresponder campaign and all that. And you'll notice, let me name this real quick here. I'm going to name this Test 7, and I'm going to click Save. And the only reason I'm going to do that is I want to demonstrate that I just created a page inside my system. And guess what? If I hover over websites and click on web pages, see that? Whenever you create a page in your system, it is always going to show up inside this section right here. That's it for this video. Go out there and create some amazing looking lead capture pages.